Hey guys, it's Mirella Manelli here, and today I'm going to show you my hair painting technique that incorporates halo sectioning. What I really love about this sectioning is it's going to give you lots of brightness around the face, but also give your client super low maintenance. I'm also going to be using some brand new rapid toners that Kenra Professional just launched, so I'm really excited to try out this beige rapid toner, so stay tuned and check it out. This is my model Leah, and about 2 years ago she had some previous highlights, and then about a year ago she went ahead and covered her highlights with a brown permanent shade just so she can make it look as natural as possible. So we definitely have a lot of virgin hair to work with, but we also have some previously colored hair down below. She also hasn't cut her hair in about a year, so she's definitely due for a major makeover. Now, first things first, we're gonna determine her natural starting level. So I'm gonna pull out my Kenra Professional color end swatch, and I'm gonna look through the back, and we've already actually determined this, but I like to show you guys how to do this. So you're gonna take the end swatch and just fan it out, and then split her hair right down the middle. And then you can just like push in the swatch right into the base of her hair, and you want to pick the color that best melts right into the shade. So I know she's a natural level 6, and for that reason I'm going to be using Kenra Professional clay lightener for all of my hair painting. But first things first, we're going to cut about 6 inches off of her hair because she really needs it. And plus I really like to build my house before I paint, so that way I know exactly where my highlights are going to live.
I love dry cutting before every color service because not only can you see exactly where your hair painting or color is going to live, but you can see exactly the way the hair is going to lay with the way they normally style it. A really quick tip for dry cutting is make sure to do some point cutting, whether shallow or deep, for a nice even blend.
So much better. We got rid of all of these dead ends, and now she's done with her cut. We're going to go ahead and pre-section her. So I really like sectioning beforehand, so it makes you work a lot more efficiently. So I'm going to be doing a halo section, and I love this technique because it's going to give you lots of brightness throughout the front and around the hairline, but we're going to leave a little bit of her natural hair through the top, so it kind of halos over everything, which makes it super low maintenance for your client. So first things first, so I'm just gonna come back about 1.5 to 2 inches and then create a round section right on through the top. So you just want to create that halo sectioning, or the hair that you really want to drape over everything. So everything underneath will be a little bit sun-kissed, a little blonde, and then we'll have some of her natural brunette shade living right on top of it. And because it is a round section on a round surface, it's actually going to give you lots of diffusion and softness. So we're just going to go ahead and clip this away. And then we'll get ready to mix.
I'm using Kenra Professional Simply Blonde Clay Lightener with a 1:2 ratio using 30 volume developer. And a really quick tip is make sure you use a scale to measure out all of your lightener so you have nice consistency with each and every service.
Now that I'm all mixed up and she is pre-sectioned, I did separate the front from the back, so it's all clipped away. And right in the back, I'm just gonna split this right down the center, and then I'm gonna work on one of the quadrants, working in diagonal back sections.
I'm starting out by taking a 1/2 inch wide diagonal back section right at the hairline. So what you want to make sure is that if you want the blonde and brightness right at the hairline, you're going to over direct the hair away from your section and continue to hair paint using nice, even, swift motions. What I find helpful is to hold my brush so it's parallel to the hair. This is gonna make sure that you're going to apply the lightener nice and evenly and not to under or oversaturate. Just keep in mind that if you oversaturate, you're gonna create a little bit more brightness, and if you undersaturate, you're gonna get a little bit of lightness and maybe not as much as you'd like. For my next section, I'm gonna take another 1/2 inch wide diagonal back section, but this time I'm gonna paint the top side of the hair instead of the underside, because now I want the brightness to live on top, so that way you can really see it if she were to wear her hair down. Now what you'll notice is that I'm really wanting a little bit extra brightness, especially on the exterior of my hair painting section. And I've left a little bit of depth right through the center because I'm pulling the lightener only partially up, not all the way up. So I still want to keep a little bit of her natural, probably about 4 inches or so down from her new growth. Just a really quick tip is to make sure that you really saturate those ends so that way you get a nice pop of blonde. Now for my third diagonal back section, I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit. So I'm still taking that diagonal back section, but this time I'm gonna be weaving the underside of this section. I'm doing this in order to create extra depth. So just keep in mind that you don't have to hair paint every single piece of hair that lands in your chair. You can definitely leave out some brown or some of their dark or some of their natural. And what this is gonna do is help give you that pop of blonde or that contrast that you're desiring. If you were to hair paint every single piece of hair, you're actually gonna get a very blended effect. And we don't really necessarily want her to look all blonde all over. We still want her to look brunette, but very sun-kissed. Now for my very last section, I'm taking the remaining hair down, still weaving that under section so that way I still have some depth and contrast. But this time, to finish it off, I'm gonna be doing a 1/2 V. So I'm just gonna paint on the exterior on the right-hand side since I'm working on the right back section, and I'm gonna bring that V down just a little bit towards the center. So what you'll notice is that when I'm all done in the back, I'm actually gonna finish off the exact same way, but opposite on the left-hand side. So I'll have my other half of my V marrying right into the center.
Now the back is completely done. It took me about 15 minutes, and you can see here where I finished on the right side where this V section is coming down. It's a 1/2 V. I married it with the other side, which it's another 1/2 V. So you have this really large V, and she's gonna have nice pops of blonde, kind of close up towards where the halo section is at. I'm really, really excited to get started on the front.
Now for the front hairline, I'm just gonna take about a 1/2 inch section diagonal back and clip away the remaining hair so I have a nice clean working space. I'm then gonna hold the hair completely away from her face, very much like that very first back section, how I started. I'm then gonna hair paint the entire section because I want a lot of brightness, especially around the hairline. That's really the purpose of this technique. Although if you really wanted to have more depth on the underside, you would hair paint on the top. But this is gonna allow for all of that blonde to live right on her hairline. So that way if she were to wear her hair back in a ponytail, you're gonna see lots of brightness. For her next section, I'm gonna take another diagonal back section, but instead of hair painting the top, I'm still gonna paint on the underside. So the reason for this is because, again, we're working on this hairline, and typically people have a lot more finer hair texture right at the hairline, and I just wanna make sure that she has enough blonde. Now, because my client typically wears her hair either down the center or on the side, I'm gonna go ahead and treat her as if she parts her hair down the center all of the time. So I'm just gonna separate the very top section utilizing the arch of her eyebrow and then weaving the underside of my very last section, again, to create that depth, especially around the face since we have those two back-to-back hair painted pieces on her hairline. I'm then going to hair paint the top of this section because this is where the hair typically lives down, framing her face. and we really still want to see some pops of blonde. And I'm really focusing on creating that half V section so it looks nice and seamless. Because if you see or notice the section that we finished with in the back, the hair painting piece is living on the exterior. So this is actually going to look really beautiful once the hair is married together and living where it normally does when she styles it.
Now I got both of the right and the left section completely done, and I did leave just a little bit of a center section here because she does part her hair right down the middle. So kind of following what I did through the hairline on each of the sides, I'm going to be doing the same thing, holding the hair right on up and hair painting right along the hairline, so that way she has a nice pop of blonde, especially when she pulls her hair back for a ponytail.
Now, once you're done hair painting the hairline, I personally like to weave out just a really small section of hair to create a little bit of depth, because I do primarily want her to be brunette with a sun-kissed feel. But if you want that extra pop of blonde right at the hairline, you most certainly can add more hair painting back to back. Just keep in mind, this is your canvas, and where you paint is exactly where you're going to see that pop of blonde. Now for the very final section right at my halo, I am going to hair paint the very top section because this is where the hair starts to drape over, and this still allows me to have that depth on the underside.
So now I'm completely done applying all of the clay lightener throughout her halo section. So now we're just gonna process, and we'll check her in about 25-30 minutes.
So after about 30 minutes of room temperature processing, her hair lifted to a nice level 8, which I absolutely love. And I'm shampooing her out with Kenra Professional Kenra Platinum Snail Shampoo and Conditioner, which I really love because it's super hydrating and perfect for right after any lightening service. Now before I get ready to put on any toner to her hair, I really love using porosity equalizing spray before all of my toning services. And what this porosity equalizing spray is, it's a 4.5 on the acidic scale, so it helps even the porosity of the hair, allowing for even color absorption throughout each of the strands. Now for her final glaze, I'm using the brand new Rapid Toners in beige in a 1:2 mixing ratio with a 9 volume developer. Now I'm super excited about this Rapid Toner launch because if you've ever used any of the Rapid Toners, you know that they are simply amazing, especially the SV and VP Rapid Toners. But what's amazing about this beige Rapid Toner is that it does have a violet base to it to cancel out any of the warmth, but it does not leave the hair violet at all or ashy at all. It's gonna leave the hair in a really beautiful beige tone, and I'm so excited that they've added this to the collection. Now here's a really quick tip. If you've ever used any of the Rapid Toners, you know they work rapidly. They work in 5 minutes or less. So what I really love doing is applying the Rapid Toner where I need it most, which is typically on the mids and ends, and leaving the hairline out. So I leave the hairline last to tone because that's typically a lot more supple hair and it's typically a little bit more porous. So it's going to absorb the color a lot more quickly than the rest of the hair. But since I sprayed that porosity equalizing spray, it's definitely going to help out a ton. Plus, the Rapid Toner is a product that you're not going to want to walk away from the bowl because, again, it works rapidly, 5 minutes or less. So you're going to want to stand by, really work the toner through the hair, and you're going to see it change before your eyes. And when you see that it's done, it's time to rinse it off. Then I follow up with Snail Conditioner, massage it into the hair, and then she's ready for her final style.
All right, so we just finished up applying her toner, and I absolutely love the results that the beige Rapid Toner gave her. It cooled out all of the warmth that she had and left her with a really beautiful beige tone. So now I'm gonna get ready to style her with a brand new product. It's called Kenra Nitro Memory Cream. Now this mousse is a little bit different and unique because it's nitrogen propelled, and you actually need to use a little bit versus a lot of mousse, which you typically would do. And the reason for that is because it's a little bit denser. So I'm just gonna dispense literally this much in my hands, and I'm gonna work it through her hair. And what's great about this is that it has a really nice memory hold, and it does have a hold factor of 18, which is a little high, but what I love about this mousse is it's really easy to still run your round brush through the hair and really mold it into the shape that you want, which is great if you're trying to give like a really beautiful voluminous blowout. I'm starting out Leah's blow dry with a rough dry. I just want to remove about 80% of the water from her hair. Now her hair is more of a fine texture, but she has a medium density, so I want to make sure to get rid of all that water. It's just going to make the blowout process go by a lot quicker. Once I'm finished removing majority of the moisture out of her hair, I'm taking 2-inch subsections and then utilizing an 1.5-inch wide round brush. I'm taking section by section, making sure to over direct to give Leah a really voluminous blowout. So I'm gonna do this by taking each section of hair and drying it with the round brush and then rolling it up and then making sure to set it on cool. So once I've done the cool shot, I'm gonna unravel the hair from the brush and then I re-wrap it up with my hands and then pin it with a pin curl clip. I personally like to let a blow dry set cool for at least 5 minutes if you have the time, and then remove the pin curl clips, and you can either finger comb or take a brush and run it through her hair. All right, so here's the final result of our halo sectioning technique using everything Kenra Professional. And just to recap, we used Kenra Professional clay lightener with 30 volume, and we processed her for about 30 minutes. And then we did her final glaze and toner with the new rapid toners in beige for just 5 minutes. And then to finish off her style, we used the brand new Nitro Memory Cream, which gave her a really voluminous blowout. So I really hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below with any questions you may have. And until next time.